episode, we're going to talk about high fructose corn syrup and how
I don't
it's
know if I can get
exactly
used
like
to my look.
regular sugar.
They can hear us now.
Why is my head
Good,
crooked?
I hope so.
It's like,
Why is your head crooked?
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, shut up. Ready? Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today are Brian
Hey,
and Alex. You may not recognize Brian. He has glasses on. It's kind of weird. He's got a whole disguise now. He's like Clark Kent.
I can read the TV in front of me now.
Look at me. I'm Superman.
So when we talk about news articles, I can actually read them.
But
Yeah, because he didn't do it
he
before.
didn't read them ahead of time.
That's because I couldn't see them.
He's got to read them on the spot. All right, we've got some listener feedback, some game news, and then we're going to jump into Rainbow Six Siege Year 4 and the state of the game. But before we get to all of that, if you want to follow us on social media or see other places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. The Midwest Podcast Network now has a Patreon. The Patreon is meant to benefit all the shows on the network. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month and help keep our shows alive and well. Check it out at mpn.bz/Patreon.
Yeah.
As always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to midwestgamenerds@gmail.com. gmail.com.
I'll buy the .com too.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Thanks to Jason K. and Gojo for the contributions to the Patreon. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Alex, bumpers for the network.
Yes. Horror Movie Yearbook. They just put out a Blumhouse bracket. Blumhouse is the production company that has put out several big horror movies. They do it for very cheap, and they do a good job with it. So they're talking about such movies as Get Out, Cam, Hush, Oculus, The Gift, Creep, Insidious, Dark Skies, Upgrade, The Belko Experiment, Halloween 2018, Happy Death Day, Split, The Visit, Sinister, and Paranormal Activity. Find out what makes it to their final four.
Those aren't all the same movie?
No, they're not.
No.
They're all made by Blumhouse. And
Is it Blumhouse or Bloomhouse?
I think it's Blumhouse.
It's spelled like Blumhouse. B-L-U-M,
But
right?
that's, I mean, some people pronounce that Bloom
Bloom.
too. But anyway, check it out, horrormovieyearbook.com,
Do it.
and give it a listen.
Do you eat blooms instead of plums? Or plumes? Sorry.
Oh, my God. This isn't
The
Dr.
glasses
D.
have gone straight to his head.
They are quite literally
now a
on my
linguist.
head.
Are we doing feedback?
Yeah.
Okay. Listener Clark sent us an email. He says, "Hi, I'm a fan of the show and just wanted to possibly give hope for Anthem. I understand that EA is not a merciful company when it comes to failing games, but I do have an example of a time recently when they did hold on a help. I should have edited this better. When they did help support a game, that being Battlefront 2. I've been playing Battlefront 2 since launch, and recently EA has basically relaunched the game and continued supporting it, albeit slowly, despite the fact that it was critically panned, and that also that they're probably losing money on it. Let's just hope Anthem is a Rainbow Six, For Honor, or a Battlefront 2. Love the show. Clark, thanks for the feedback, man.
Thank you, Clark. Yeah, I think I tried to touch on that. I don't know how successful I was. I didn't go back and listen to it, but the only concern there is that, like, Star Wars is a thing that they license from Disney, and they might have obligations to carry that one out.
Yeah,
but
probably some kind of contract.
I honestly think they will give Anthem some time. I don't know how long it'll be. It might be through E3. It could be for a full year.
They've invested a lot of money in BioWare, I'm sure, so
Yeah.
you don't want to give up on them.
I mean,
And the fact that they actually have like a roadmap this time
yeah,
shows that they are planning on supporting it at least for the next year.
they thought ahead for some time at least. So I think it would be pretty shocking for them to come out and be like, no, this sold so little that we'll never. No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
But I agree. Hopefully it has some time to grow some legs.
Indeed. So yeah, Clark, we kind of have hope too.
We do.
Sort of. Have any of you guys haven't finished it yet, have
We're
you?
going to go into what we've been playing. I finished Anthem last night.
You finished? Okay,
Oh,
so you
really?
finished the story.
I just finished the story, yes.
I haven't played it since we talked about it.
So, I thought the ending was a little abrupt, but I thought it was good. And, like, by the time I got to the end, I feel like it had really grown into, like, okay, I see where this is a BioWare story. I get why this is all, like, it's all coming together and starting to do cool things. And I like that. I know that the end boss fight becomes like a stronghold later on, and I haven't done, or after you finish the game, it's a stronghold that you can go back and do.
Okay.
I haven't done any of the other strongholds, so I feel like those might be cool too, because I like some of the mechanics that they kind of mix into that fight in the end. But no, I had a pretty good time with it overall, and I'm excited for more. I don't really, I say that, but I also canceled my Origin premiere because I'm just going to wait and see how the next month or two goes story-wise.
When the game drops to $20 and then you'll pick it up.
Or, I mean, if that happens, then I might do it. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like if they are going to be meeting out little bits of story over the next couple weeks, like the roadmap kind of implies that they're going to do, then, you know, I'll wait and see how you feel about it and how other people feel about it. Maybe I'll pop in when there's like 2 months worth or 3 months worth of stuff for me to run through rather than paying $15 all. Hopefully you can go back and play previous month's stuff.
Yeah.
But who knows how that's going to work. So, but no, I think the game is getting a pretty raw deal. But that's because expectations were high and people wanted to love it. And they're already making improvements. Like you can hop into Fort Tarsus now and you just hold down R to go straight to launching a mission.
Oh, wow.
Which is something small, but also gets you back into the action faster. And it's really weird because if you're in a party, that's a thing that you do too. Like they kind of had that up there in the first place, but now it's just always there in Fort Tarsus. Like you can hold R and go straight into the mission launching screen.
Yeah.
Which I think is good.
So you don't have to walk over to wherever.
You don't have to walk over to your javelin. You
That's
you just hold down R and then you can select the mission and go, and that's great. That's a great quality of life improvement. So I hope they keep making those, and you know, we'll see where it's at in another couple weeks or months.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say, and this isn't necessarily a spoiler by any means, but I think the abruptness of that ending is just due to the fact that you literally don't deal the killing blow. Like, that to me took me out of the game, and I was like, that kind of sucked. Like, I would have really liked to have been that, like, person doing that.
Thanks for spoiling it for me.
It doesn't spoil the story at all. It's
Guess
just,
I don't need to play through it now.
you weren't going to do it anyway, so.
Well, and I feel like I'm starting to get a better grip on what the Heart of Rage is and what the cenotaph is, and like I start to know what these like vocabulary words are now.
Yeah.
Which if I knew how to read, then I could go through the cortex and probably learn that stuff, but I haven't. So, but by the end of that mission, even the fight, I don't know if it was just because I did that final mission. It was only me and one other like level 30 dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he like let his ult go and like finished the fight or got the life bar to where it needed to go. But
it needs to get to that one point, and then all of a sudden, like, it's over. Like, you
Okay.
don't even get to run it to zero, which is kind of like, I felt unsatisfied by that, but it wasn't to the point where I didn't want to play anymore. Like, I just wanted to keep playing. I started just doing the random missions and things that I didn't really do, like, during gameplay, because I like playing the game. Like, it's fun physically to play.
yeah.
So I did find I have a couple guns that I really like, and the more you use them, you unlock challenges for the guns. And then you start unlocking like higher level versions of them to craft, which is cool.
Okay.
I dig that because then I can just keep leveling up the guns that I like. I don't have to worry about like finding new guns
Have
at
you
higher
gotten
levels.
any guns like the pre-order bonus one that are like named differently and have?
No, I don't have any legendaries yet.
Those
I
are
just,
legendaries, or are they?
they're like epics or something like that.
masterwork or something like
Not,
that.
I haven't had any masterworks yet. I'm only right now the guns that I like. I'm getting into the point where I can make them purple.
What level did you finish at?
23.
Okay, I think I finished it at level 14, which
Yeah.
is weird to me that you can finish the game on such a wide. Like I've heard people anywhere from 25 down to like 11, but
Yeah.
I think I was up to level 9. I wonder how far away I am.
I still only have
Finishing.
2 javelins, and I completed.
Oh
the
yeah, I
game.
have 2.
But,
yeah.
And I've really only played as the Storm at this point, but yeah, no, I do want to go back and play more, but it's one of those things where it's like, because we have the show, I want to move on to other stuff
Right,
and all
for
that type
sure.
of stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to spend the $15 on Origin again for another month
Well, yeah,
right
'cause
now. But
we have Sekiro coming out at the end of the month.
yep,
Days Gone coming out like right after that, and with Days Gone getting the attention it's getting, I'm kind of like a little more intrigued by that now.
yeah, interest is peaked a little bit.
Although I did hear Split Screen compared it to Horizon Zero Dawn in terms of like
Ooh.
the,
Open
the
worldy.
scope of what is available for you to do.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So that's cool, but at the same time, like I didn't like that about Horizon, so I don't know if
It
I
might
will like
be
this,
a little
but
open worldy for me too, but we'll see. When
If
we
I
get
didn't
to it.
enjoy all the activities in Horizon Zero Dawn, I would have found it overwhelming. But
Yeah.
everything, I just really liked the gameplay loop.
Yeah, I mean, Split Screen said
so-
that it was basically like it is the most AAA ass game
Yeah.
you've ever played. Like everything about it is like every feature of every AAA game you've ever played is in this game. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like Jason Schreier made it sound like it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it also wasn't. Like he was kind of tossed between it. But
It was, and I think people have only played previews at this point. It's not
yeah,
even
there was like
review
a
code out yet.
There was like an hour-long like playthrough demo or something like that that a bunch of media was able to play, and they were just
Yeah.
like kind of blown away by what the game has become, but still kind of like we don't really know how this is going to go for the player base.
Dan from Giant Bomb was like, "This isn't for me," and I didn't like it very much. And I was like, "Okay," but he also, I don't know, he got married at a Taco Bell. But other than that,
That says a lot about a man.
I'm intrigued by it more so than I was back when Sony wasn't giving it any press time anymore. So, but yeah, Anthem.
Well, The Division 2 is also out next week.
That's
Yeah.
Well, it's out Friday, 5 days from now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or
That game you pre-ordered.
a few days earlier for you because you bought the fancy version.
When do I get to play it? Like
Like
Thursday?
the 12th, I think.
Maybe Tuesday.
Oh shit!
Or
Yeah.
13th, whatever.
I'm just gonna beat it before anybody else plays it.
Yeah. So we'll see what we end up
That's annoying.
covering soon.
Maybe you'll just roll a new character on Saturday when I can play.
Yeah, maybe.
Sekiro is out on the 22nd.
29th, I thought.
Yeah.
Or
I have
is it?
that. I pre-ordered both of them. I mainly just pre-ordered. I try to not pre-order stuff anymore.
March 22nd is
Yeah.
But-
Sekiro. So that comes out a week from this Friday.
Yeah.
So we might have some of that played by next episode, but mostly maybe the Division since you guys are going to check that out.
Yeah.
But
The
anyway.
main reason I pre-ordered that was to get a free game out of it.
The Division.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll probably pick Ghost Recon Wildlands
Yeah.
for PC.
I'm probably going to try and pick up Sekiro on PC maybe.
That's
I
what I
ordered
planned
that
on
too,
doing.
so that way it would show up day of.
Yeah. So anyway.
Plus, you can get a hard copy from Best Buy Gamers Club.
Oh.
But they don't have them in store and they won't ship to the store. They'll only ship to
It's
you.
only release day delivery or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
which is fine. Then I don't have to go to the store.
Real quick, I also played a bunch of. I've been playing a bunch of Tetris 99 on our Twitch. Sometimes you can hear me, sometimes you can't. I'll probably do more of that this week. I want to try and win. I've gotten to like 4th or 5th place. I
got
think.
to third.
Yeah, it's like those last 10
That's-
people.
I mean, I spent the last when I got to that third point, I just spent a lot of time just rotating the same piece over and over
just to
see
give you
if I
more
can-
time to think a
if
little
I could
bit.
hold out, you
Yeah.
know, and then eventually I died. But it like, wow, man, what a rush! Like I got a bigger rush out of that than I did ever playing PUBG, man.
Well, the thing about it with me is that when I got to 5th or whatever place it was, which was on a stream that you can hear. I don't know if it's still up there or not, but anyway, I got excited about how well I was doing, which then made me not do well anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn it. But
My
no, it's good.
strategy was just to get it, like try to get Tetrises as much as I could at first, and then paying attention to how many lines are about to stack on me,
Yeah.
and trying to match that with my
To be able to
yeah,
alleviate.
to delete that
Yeah.
and get rid of it. And then once it got to the point where I was in like the top 10, I was just doing
just start
single
clear
lines
lines.
as fast as I could, like repeatedly. And that seemed to work really well. But the past few times I played yesterday for a little bit and I got fucking obliterated, like
Yeah.
at least 6 games in a row, like within the first like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you get like 8 lines all of a sudden. I don't
Yeah.
understand exactly. Like, I guess maybe that's 2 people clearing a Tetris and attacking you at the same time.
Right. Which if they're just going random, like that's just unfortunate.
But yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can you target specific people? I haven't figured
so
that out.
you can move around the right stick on the controller, or you can tap the screen.
Oh, okay. Because I've just been doing random, like every time.
I usually go to random, but if there's a lot of people on me, then I switch to attack.
Okay.
And then that way I can start sending some back, and maybe they'll consider moving around or doing something differently. But
Yeah.
and then no, it's good. It's a good game.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's just the last thing I would have expected to turn into a battle royale game.
Oh, it's better than any other battle royale.
Yeah,
game. This one actually takes skill and talent.
Like every other battle royale
It
game.
might be the best battle royale game because it's just the most abstracted from military stuff.
Right.
But yeah, no, there should be a battle royale like Demolition Derby that isn't DayZ.
That would be fun. Yeah, I thought about that
Actually
too.
just driving cars
Just
into
cars,
each other.
yeah.
Like they should probably pull out the old Carmageddon license for that.
Yeah.
Carmageddon battle royale.
And then I have looped back around to Pokemon Let's Go. I think I have 4 badges now. I've been playing for about 10 hours. And game's fun. With the recent announcement of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which that happened, and that's coming this year on Switch.
What?
What about it?
It's coming. That's what made me want to play some Pokemon.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Sorry.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
complete
Gotcha.
my thought there.
I thought you were trying to get some more out of us about it. And
No.
I was, like
I
I was
have-
trying to think of like a good Pokemon joke, and I just had nothing. Like drawing a blank.
Sword and Shield
Yeah.
looks cool. I don't know that we'll talk that much. Didn't show a whole lot other than the starters.
The internet made the third version into it's Sword, Shield, and Gun.
Pretty good. The starters look kind of samey. I don't know. Like I feel like they kind of ran out of gas on making Pokemon.
They just need to do more drugs and then come back to it.
I
Pokemon,
don't-
Pokemon Creation Retreat is just a bunch of
Yeah.
Japanese dudes dropping acid in a sauna for.
Yeah, or just they all hit some ayahuasca like real quick, you know?
I think I was too old and I missed the boat on that shit, and now it just looks really dumb.
You should try Let's Go. I think you should just play it for a bit and see what you feel about it, because I think that would be interesting to see what a doctor such as yourself thinks about Pokemon. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's about it.
PhD. Anyway,
Have you guys been playing anything?
I haven't played it. Well, nothing other than Rainbow Six, really, and Tetris, Puyo Puyo Tetris, a little more for practice training.
For some reason, I played PUBG a couple times with Josh because he I don't know, he suggested it, and I was like laughing at him, and then I was like, yeah, why not? And then
We played some Sea of Thieves with Josh too at one point.
oh, cool.
We should do that some more.
Yeah, we should.
It was
That was a fun time.
Yeah, PUBG was kind of fun, but it's super janky. It's like, man, like after all these more polished ones came out,
yeah,
like
you,
Apex,
you play Apex and you play Fortnite and you
I
go back
just,
to
like, it feels almost like it has like screen tearing, even though there's no way it does.
Well, what I don't get is how it's not improved. How has it not gotten better in
Yeah.
the time that like
I mean, from a gameplay perspective, or like they've done a lot of like quality of life things, like as far as fixing the menus up and stuff,
well, that's good at least.
and just UI things. So that's cool, but like I just don't understand why the game kind of runs like shit.
Yeah, it should be
and just
better
looks
optimized
terrible.
by now.
Like the textures and stuff in that game are just so bad.
Maybe you need ray tracing to make it
But,
the best.
I mean, I feel like it still like has the best audio model as far as like being able to figure out where people are based on where they're shooting and stuff. And it's still more intense than the other ones in a way, because like it's very easy to hide and just take people out, you know,
Yeah.
hiding
Sit
in
in
the
a
grass
bathtub.
and stuff. And you can't really do that in any of the other battle royale games.
That's true.
So yeah, like stealth and like tactically like attacking a house or something, you know, people are in, is like really intense and cool. And I just wish one of the other games could
Match that.
capture that. But yeah, besides that, Destiny 2 started a new season and they rolled out their new DLC.
Is this number 2 in the year 2 pass
of the
or whatever?
3 for the year pass. It's Gambit focus this time, which is cool. I'm like a little bit underwhelmed so far, but the more I play, the more I like it. The new Gambit mode they have is just one round. So the matches are a lot shorter, so that's kind of cool, but it has like a weird flow to it.
Aren't there like classes you select too, kind of?
See, I thought that's what it was going to be, but it's not like that. Like you can get armor that will enhance like abilities, I guess, for specific roles that you can play in Gambit, but you're not like straight up picking a class.
Okay.
But right now, like I can't tell what the armor actually does. Like they have ones that it's say like you pick up a piece and it's +1 to invading or whatever, and then another piece there's like invader, sentry, collector. So collector would be a person who goes around
Picks
collecting
up the
motes.
Yeah.
Sentry, I don't really fucking know. I assume just
killing mobs.
Defending. Well, no, because killing mobs is another one I can't think of the name of.
So
Reaper.
defending against.
There's one called Reaper.
Sentry defends against invaders, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe they're supposed to take out mobs too, but Reaper I think is more like taking out invading guardians and stuff. And then obviously invaders, the easiest one to figure out next to collector. Yeah.
Interesting.
But it looks interesting. It glows and stuff, and I think the glowing thing probably enhances as you level up the armor or whatever. But I think if you get a whole set, it unlocks like actual perks. But I don't know yet. It says it does, but I haven't seen anyone like wearing stuff that has unlocked perks yet. And I don't really know what the +1s do for the actual gameplay. So, but Gambit Prime is like, it's a little more intense than normal Gambit, just because of how little time you have. But at the same time, like I feel like the flow is off as far as basically, I mean, because it's one round, you just collect motes, and when you summon blockers now, the blockers just like take motes away from the other player's bank slowly if they don't destroy them. And like once you summon the primeval, that's the weird part, is like there's like a mechanic, like a raid light kind of mechanic to it. Like you have to kill like these 2 envoys, and then it summons a circle, and then you have to stand in the circle to damage the enemy, and then it just keeps repeating that over and over again. So like you'll do like a quarter damage to the boss, and then you got to go find the envoys again. They're like marked on the map.
Yeah.
But the problem is like the invaders come like every probably like fucking 30 seconds.
Huh.
So it feels like nobody ever takes any health away from the bosses for like a solid 5 minutes, because people are just constantly invading. Because every time an invader kills someone, it heals the primeval.
Yeah.
So it's like it's too frequent, I feel like. Like it should be a mechanic that you have to like really plan for, I think. I don't know.
It seems like a weird, because previously the normal Gambit's 3 matches, right? And that's 3 primeval summons, essentially?
Yeah, well, they changed that, too, because the matches were pretty long.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And, like, the third, if you go to a third round now, it's just a sudden death. Like, whoever can kill the primeval faster, which sounds cool to me. But I haven't tried it since they made that switch.
It's like they wanted, with Gambit Prime, they wanted to lengthen the match, but also not make it as long as normal Gambit.
I think just in between like the envoys respawning so damn often and the invader, it feels like you're not making any progress forever.
Yeah.
Until like finally someone gets lucky, because like the invader fucks up.
Yeah, one of you decides to not invade anymore to try and do more damage on the boss or something like that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's really what it seems like it comes down to, is like eventually somebody fucks up, and then
the only way to win is not to
team
play.
Gets the advantage, and that's kind of a bummer. But the new gear and stuff I've gotten from it is really cool.
It sounds like there's more tweaking they can do.
And then there's like a new PvE mode that's linked to that. Like you use that to get the cool new armor pieces that you use in the Gambit Prime and regular Gambit. That's called the Reckoning, and it's in that weird like I can't think of the name of it, where the 9 live, basically, that weird ass like astral plane kind of place. And it's basically just like a kind of like a horde mode thing. Like the first tier is really simple, but I guess they're unlocking the second tier, I think, at the end of this week, or maybe they already did, and then like the next tier a week after that. So the mechanics will evolve over time. So
interesting.
That might get more interesting.
Cool.
That's it for me.
I don't have anything else to talk about.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about news.
News. You can see our Twitch right now.
News.
Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. Brian, do you want to read this one?
Sure, why not? I can actually see it. Skyrim mod making $33,000 a month accused of stealing code. I'm not going to read the whole fucking thing.
So this is the mod that lets people play Skyrim co-op.
Yes.
Yes.
And they have been accused by the guys that did the Skyrim script extender. I guess they accused them years ago, and they've been fighting about it. The mod that like allows the co-op is called Skyrim Together.
Yeah.
And like they supposedly stole code from them. But at this point, they claim to have taken all or most of it out. But yeah, I don't know. It sounds super
it
sketchy.
sounds like right now it's it's gotten more intense because Skyrim Together, that team put together a Patreon where they're getting $33,000 a month.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the Skyrim script extender people are not getting that kind of money, and they are jealous. But I would be jealous too if my code was used in a different thing and we didn't get any credit for it.
So the Skyrim Together team posted a comment on Reddit and said, "We have had disagreements with the SKSE folks in the past. I have tried to communicate with them, but they have never replied, so we stopped using their code. There might be some leftover code from them in there that was overlooked when we removed it. It isn't as simple as just deleting a folder. Mainly our fault because we rushed some parts of the code. Anyway, we are going to make sure to remove what might have slipped through the cracks for the next patch." To which an SKSE member replied, "So to be clear, you are saying that you started using our code, then asked for permission, never got permission, continued using it, eventually removed part of it yet somehow left some of it in, continued to charge access the entire time, and promised to totally clean up a now license-tainted project."
Yeah, when they put it like that, it sounds super shady.
Yeah, so that sucks.
You know what, man? You're talking about a community of modding that's been pretty open source like for a really long time. Go fuck yourself.
Well, but now that something like Patreon allows people to like make $33,000 a month.
But okay, what code are they sharing is what I want to know, because if it is like the backbone of what Skyrim Together needs in order to fucking run, I can see that being a problem. If it's just if it's a couple of lines of code that just add some semblance of stability, like not so much. If it's something they can patch out in a later patch, like it's clearly not imperative. So especially for like an open platform like Skyrim that's been a part of the Steam Workshop and modding community for fucking years, like since it was released, basically, like give me a fucking break, man.
Well, apparently this is not really open source if they have a copyright on it.
Really? Do they?
It says due to continued intentional copyright infringement.
But where's the paperwork is what I would want to know.
Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily
because if
know.
they just say, like, I want to know like what kind of artistic license they have, in terms of like, oh, because we wrote this code, it is ours. Like, show me how. Like, how is that yours just because you wrote that code? I don't understand enough about how coding and copyright works, but
yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that it would be hard for us to parse through. But
yeah, I haven't gotten my law degree yet. I'm still working on that one.
Yeah.
It didn't come
Now
with
that you have your glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that you can read. Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like this is way more complicated.
It's super
somehow,
messy.
But I also think that like if they did reach out, I don't know for sure, but if Skyrim Together did reach out and the other guys didn't respond, that would have been their opportunity to be like, hey, yeah, let's work on this together, and then they can both profit off of it.
But that's not, I mean, it's not, if they hold a copyright, it's not on them to say, yes, let's do this together. They can also say, no, I don't want to do it. They can also not say anything. Like, I can go to Pepsi and be like, yo, I want to use your shit. Let's make a thing. They're not going to talk to me. So Skyrim script extender doesn't have to go and be like, no, we don't want you using our stuff. If it's copywritten, like if they hold some type of IP rights over it, there's no need for that. Like, if they didn't come out and say, this is open source out there for everyone to use, please use it as you wish.
But I'm assuming, like, how did Skyrim Together get the code in the first place? I would assume it was through the modding community of Skyrim.
Maybe.
And that, to me, like, if you're and that's like the whole Steam Workshop modding community of Skyrim has always been pretty much open source, like unspoken to whatever extent. Like, it's known that, like, oh, people take other people's shit and make it better. Like, that is a common practice in the modding community for Skyrim. So I'm just saying, like, if they put it out there without, like, proper back channel copyright,
and I don't
IP,
know.
whatever, like, if they didn't do due diligence to that particular aspect of it, so be it, man. Sorry, bro.
Well, and this is the same thing of Nintendo taking down a ROM site because they need to defend their patents and intellectual property. Like, if these people didn't seek to prevent Skyrim Together from using their stuff, then it's also kind of on them. But it sounds like it's been a messy fight. So I don't, obviously one article isn't going to show us everything, and all of the articles might not
either. That $33,000 a month they're raking in, they're just going to code that code out, and then Skyrim, whatever extender, will have nothing to say. Nothing to stand on. Instead of trying to work with them, that's my issue. Is they're not trying to work with Skyrim Together. They're just fighting them because they feel bad because they didn't make any money off of their shit.
Well, and I mean,
and I get that
there's
to an
something
extent.
to be said about like patent trolling, but in this case, it's actually like they created a thing and someone may have been using it unlawfully.
I just think it's weird that we're in a place now where people can make money off of mods, period.
People can make more money than the three of us combined off of a mod for Skyrim.
They're modifying a game that already exists. They shouldn't even be making money off of that, in my opinion. I understand some of them are really involved, like especially like total conversion mods.
I mean, where's Bethesda sit on all this?
And
like, have they even made a statement? Like,
probably not.
Because that would be like, if I were Bethesda, I'd be like, listen, like, this shit's open source. Go fuck yourself. Like, that's what I would do. But that's just me. I know that's not what Bethesda's doing. But Bethesda's going to be like, yo, you guys are bringing in $33,000 with this one mod. Like, can we buy that?
They're really like, have you
and
bought Fallout 76?
Hey, you guys want to work on a game?
You want to work on Fallout 76?
Do you want to fix Fallout 76 for
We'll
us?
pay you $33,000 a month for it.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I could see Bethesda stepping in and be like, either 1, we're buying you, 2, stop doing this, 3, give us your money. Like, there's any number of ways that they can
give me all your money.
All that being said,
are these your lunches?
if they get this mod to work well, I fucking sure as hell want to try it.
It's been out there for a while. I've never actually seen anybody try to use it or anything.
You can do it right now, man.
Really?
Yeah. It's I know that it's been out, but it's it's
probably janky.
The article does say that they are looking to release the most stable version in early 2019.
Well, when that happens,
it says we hope to release the first stable version of the mod during the year 2019. So it could be far from that, and that's a huge. That Skyrim itself isn't. When are they going to release the first stable version of Skyrim? So
fair enough.
Yeah,
this might be it.
It could be.
The mod makes Skyrim stable.
It could be. Yeah.
So, back
Next
to
up.
Anthem.
Anthem players say the game's crashing their PS4s. Some of them are saying it's like bricking them, soft bricking of some sort.
Yeah, it's not like a full-on like permanent bricking situation.
Apparently, there have also been people saying it's been doing it to their PC. I have not had these
Wow, that
issues,
hasn't
but now that I
happened to me
just
at all.
said that, I'm gonna have it happen to me probably. Because
So what was happening there? There were people that were having errors on PS4 where not only would it quit out to menu, but it would also shut the PlayStation down. In that case, you can usually turn it back on. It'll take a minute to rebuild the database on the hard drive, which for some reason the PlayStation is the only system that has to do that nowadays.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
how
really
they have their
annoying.
stuff built. It's the same thing that happens if you have it in rest mode and the power goes out. So, but there are also some people that saying they just straight up could not turn their PlayStation back on. Now, I haven't looked into it, but I also heard there's a way to take care of that and have it manually do those things. I think you have to boot in like safe mode or something, and which who knows that was possible with the PlayStation 4 and all that type of stuff. But like,
yeah, you just like hold down the power switch and then you yell at the PlayStation "I konnichiwa" and it does it.
it's a views of John Morrell. But anyway, the I don't know exactly if anybody has straight up lost a PlayStation to it or they just haven't tried enough to like fix it. But Sony,
No, but you know these guys, these like butthurt Anthem players are like, it broke my PS4.
well,
I
it
had to
didn't-
go buy a new one.
It didn't help that like Sony was like Sony was like, hey, yeah, we're not gonna refund you. Or no, we're not going to fix your stuff for free because it's not the PlayStation's fault. And then they were also like, but we're also not going to refund Anthem for you because that's also not the reason your PlayStation's dying. So it's kind of like, okay. And then, so EA sent out an update at one point that said, we're aware of a crashing issue some of you have been reporting for Anthem. We're investigating and ask that you share crash data reports when prompted. If you have, we'll be reaching out to gather info. If not, please reply to this thread on Anthem HQ, I guess. And then the Kotaku article that we're reading from also goes on to say, as of the 5th at 10:51 a.m., a workaround for the PS4s that no longer turn on after shutting down while running Anthem has been shared on Reddit, which is able to help one person who reached out to us to get their console working again. The method requires booting the console in safe mode by holding down the power button for several seconds until you hear 2 beeps.
I was almost right.
From there, players need to select the option labeled Rebuild Database. When that process is complete, the PS4 should be working again. So, yeah, this sucks, but honestly, I feel like this could have been any game. It's not Anthem's fault. Like, whatever. The PlayStation 4 Pro itself is not the robust thing of heart. I've had to have mine repaired, and like that's not.
Anthem barely runs on my PC, which is a lot stronger than my PlayStation Pro.
So it's like whatever. People get over it. I'm sorry your PlayStation turned off. Turn it back on.
It's broke and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. The other weird thing that I was hearing about was somebody apparently, and I don't have an article or anything on this, but somebody figured out that like level 1 items were doing more damage than like masterwork items in Anthem. Because of the way that they try to make it so that lower level players and higher level players can play together and still do similar damage.
Interesting.
Which is really weird. Like the lower level guns were taking like 4 hits when the higher level gun would take like 6 and like stuff like that.
Probably a bug though.
Yes. So
like
somebody
they're supposed to get like weakened in power as you level up, probably.
Yeah, and the Anthem. They were discussing this on Reddit, and they pulled someone into the thread. They summoned somebody from BioWare, and they were like, "Oh, this is an error, and we know how to fix it, and it should be easy. We just don't know what patch it's going to be in." Was like their response to it. But it just seemed like a weird thing that happened. So, anyway, enough about Anthem.
Brian?
Apparently Apex Legends leaked over a year ago, but nobody really made a fuss about it.
Yes. So on the Titanfall subreddit, somebody user hit iconic on Reddit, said alleged minimap for rumored Titanfall Battle Royale game from 11 months ago.
And it's pretty much the exact map.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
And the Polygon article says, not only was his thread seriously downvoted, but the top response was, "I really hope this doesn't happen." They said that commenter has since apologized for his hubris, writing, "I have put too much time into this game so far. My prejudice was very wrong." He also added, "You should see my inbox, LMAO." But yeah, it's interesting, and I don't know exactly how he would have actually gotten the information. Apparently he did come back and say so they had somebody from Respawn chime in on the thread, and he said, "Haha, I remember this. It was a relief to see folks blow it off, and I was thinking, well, he'll be able to say I was right next year when that comes along." So that's pretty cool. But yeah, pretty interesting. I wonder exactly how
many other rumors that have been ignored over the years.
Well,
right.
that, and then also like how exactly this dude got this stuff.
Yeah.
Like he didn't provide any context. He didn't say anything about where he got it from. But you know, it's like Bungie teasing Destiny and Halo Reach and stuff like that. All that type of stuff where they know what they're working on and it comes out some way. But obviously this to me feels like somebody pushed an update to Titanfall that had this map hidden in it somewhere or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, pretty cool. Next,
Nintendo announces Labo VR kit for the Switch.
yes.
A bunch of people online are really like, this is dumb, like who wants to hold a VR mask to their face?
Same people that bought a Virtual Boy.
And a lot of people think it's not going to run like smoothly, so they're just going to get sick.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is that like anything I've heard VR developers talk about is like you need to be at 90 frames per second.
I've always
Per
wanted
eye.
to stare up a bird's ass is all I want. It's actually a dream of mine.
Yes. That's one of
I just saw that.
one of the toy cons that can be made.
There is a push for Pokemon Snap to come out for the camera version.
That would be incredible.
So-
They totally should do that. There should be a new Pokemon Snap already, but that hasn't happened.
What I'm hoping for is just to play my normal Switch games with this resting on my face while I lay in bed.
I'm
what I'm
hoping
looking
for a
for.
lot of videos of kids puking trying to play this.
I'm really curious to see what it is. So they're releasing two versions. There's like a starter kit that's $40 and a full set that's $80. The full set comes with like 5 different things. One of them looks like a Viewmaster. The other one's a camera. There's one that looks like an anteater / cannon that's on your face.
Bird ass.
There's the bird whose ass you're looking up, and then there's also like some
Looks like
weird
an elephant.
the Legend of Zelda face mask.
But
It looks like something out of Breath of the Wild. Like,
yeah. So it seems pretty cool and cool for them to do this. I don't know that I'm gonna pick it up. It's coming
kind
on
of
April 12th.
It's kind of depressing just the way people respond to stuff like this. Like here's Nintendo, like notoriously known for breaking molds and like changing the industry, and people just shit all over like everything they do, and they're like, I don't know. It's really disheartening.
I don't feel that that's necessary. Like obviously they're not trying to.
It's not for you,
Put
34-year-old gamer. Like clearly it's
yeah.
not for you. Get over it. Like
They're not trying to get in the VR game right next to Oculus and fucking like HTC
PSVR,
Vive
yeah.
and PSVR. This is something else entirely. That's probably more on the level of like the Google whatever it's called.
The cardboard, Google
Yeah.
Cardboard, literally.
Yeah,
But
it's obviously just it's a more casual thing, and it's clearly geared toward kids mostly. It's like a my first VR kind of thing. That's how I view it, at least. It's like there's no reason to fucking shit on this.
there's that.
This
but
is
there's
a cool gimmick. Like if I were younger, I'd probably be excited about this.
yeah,
But I'm not because I owned an Oculus for a while, so I won't get it. Big deal.
I don't know how much you got into it, Alex, but like the software itself
super
is
robust.
incredibly
yeah.
robust. And I watched, I don't remember who it was, someone like a friend of Kirk Hamilton's or whatever from Split
Made a
Screen.
guitar.
They made like a bunch of instruments
Yeah.
and wrote like an entire fucking song out of it. Like that's so badass. Like so badass. And like people don't like, these older reviewers and YouTube assholes that jump on it and they're just like, this is dumb and cardboard's stupid and we just hate everything that this represents. And like, dude, fuck the internet, man.
My favorite Labo video is when IGN had John Carpenter come and play the Halloween theme on the Labo piano. Like by the end of the video, he's like, "This thing is a piece of shit." But
oh man, it's just so not necessary to like. Again, like we were just saying, 34, 38-year-old gamer review guy, like this is not made for you. So for you to just shit all over it, like right off the bat, like what is wrong with people?
Well, and my first thing, like the first thing I said when you posted that was the thing about the frames per second, because like literally if it's like unusable because it can't be smooth enough, but I don't know.
But that's a valid criticism.
Yeah.
Like being like, oh, I really just want to stare up a bird's ass, blah, 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 even though I made that joke. But like that is a joke that like
you're self-criticizing.
Yeah.
Like on the
I'm
spot?
very self-aware.
You are part of the internet.
I am.
Piece of shit.
I am a piece of shit. But anyways, I don't know, man. I really just hate YouTube content creators. Like there needs to be a rating system for them that better than just the thumbs up, thumbs down, like and comments. Like we got to figure out a way to bury these guys because they are so fucking awful.
The only way to win is not to watch.
If only everyone else would stop watching.
I'm interested to see what they do with it. I want to know what the software really looks like.
Well, that's the thing is I want to know how this expands on the software that like what are we going to be able to program in VR now using that software?
Yeah, are
I mean, that could be interesting.
The capabilities of this Labo in general, it's incredible, but none of us have touched it really. I mean, you've played with whatever.
I put together one of them, and now I'm kind of like, what am I going to do with all this cardboard then?
Just keep it up in that room full of other shit.
No, I think it'll be interesting. It's fun. It's fun that they made like a camera thing that uses the IR from the red Joy-Con.
Yeah.
It probably looks exactly like a Game Boy camera did.
I do really wonder what the point of looking up a bird's ass is.
We'll find out. Yeah. I mean, I assume it's like a bird finding activity. It's Pokemon Snap, but for birds. Probably.
Okay.
Right.
Or you get to play an egg.
Or it simulates a bird shitting on your face.
Possibly.
Well, so what was I listening to? I think I don't know if it was Player One or Giant Bomb. Somebody was talking about. I could see an SNL skit where somebody pulls it away from their face and there's like a white splat on it. It's like, yep.
I'm curious about this driving looking one.
Or with the pedal that's there.
Oh, that's the that's the Deliverance foot tapping simulator.
Oh, okay. That was my other guess.
Well, they put out. So this is the fourth set of Labo. They put out a vehicle one as well. That is actually, it has like a steering wheel and stuff, and you can play Mario Kart with those controllers.
You install it on your car bed.
Sweet.
Anyway.
Next, PS4 remote play update now lets you stream from iOS devices. It works, guys. I did it on my iPad from Alex's house. I was able to play Bloodborne on my PS4 back home, and I was using the SteelSeries Nimbus controller, which I really, really like. The only downside to this was the fact that the joystick pressing mechanism of the SteelSeries Nimbus did not apply to Bloodborne, so it was difficult for me to auto-lock onto enemies, but that can be fixed remapping controls within PlayStation. This is really cool. I don't know if anybody, like, because obviously, like, nobody ever used a fucking Vita. So you could never played remote
What's
play.
a Vita?
I did a little bit.
Yeah, I did too. It was great for No Man's Sky.
Hey, didn't you grind Destiny on the toilet with
Yes,
the Vita?
yes. I was doing dailies.
I mean, isn't that what deucing is?
I was doing dailies and doing dailies.
Doing dailies and deucing and dailies.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's nice. Even I was using the touch controls, and it's not great to like play an actual game with. But
you could play like simple turn-based strategy RPGs and things like that, or like you could play some side scrollers probably like pretty fine, fairly well, pretty fine.
Kids these days that play Fortnite and PUBG with touch controls will be able to play there.
they'll be perfectly fine in this format. But I like the fact that like my controller that I've really had little use of, it now has a function, because I don't always want to go sit upstairs and play video games. Sometimes I just want to like hang out in the living room.
It makes me want to have one in the event that I'd like travel somewhere and would like to log in and do something. But
well, can you? I'd be interested to know if you could Bluetooth your Wiimotes or your Joy-Con and use that somehow.
I don't know. I mean, you should be able to do a PlayStation controller, which you can't yet.
Yeah,
those are Bluetooth,
which is super weird.
Yeah, so you should be able to do it that way, but. I think you can connect a PS4 controller to like a Mac natively.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they wouldn't figure that out, but hopefully they will soon. So, but yeah, no, it's cool.
It's cool and it works.
Yes. And yeah,
I
like it.
Cool.
I want it's kind of, we're getting closer and closer to that like streaming console reality of like you can play anywhere, but hopefully everybody starts getting amazing.
The article on the sidebar of this is the Google controller that's coming out for the Google Project Stream, supposedly.
We should talk about that briefly as well. So Google, there's like a patent that came out that Google has a game controller, and it looks like a pretty standard game controller. It looks a little dated, honestly. It's kind of not extremely ergonomic, but
maybe they're trying to capitalize on the retro market.
They probably meant to keep it pretty generic so they could make it into whatever they wanted to.
Yeah, it looks a lot like a Pro controller with a Switch Pro controller with less contour to it, but
less style.
They do have a share button on it, which is nice, and hopefully with the PlayStation and the Switch and the Google controller having one, hopefully that's just standard from here on out.
I'll bet you, since it's Google, like you literally, I mean, it would just go right to YouTube immediately.
Yeah,
and just be done.
That'd be great.
Bam, there.
That would be awesome. So that's pretty cool. And then the patent itself has basically, or it says here, is a notification system for the controller that notifies a player when a game is now available, that a user has received an invitation, a status change on a leaderboard, or a chat request from another player. So that, I think that might be this like center thingamabob here. There's also like a microphone button, so you could probably hit it and say, "Okay, Google,
please. Okay, Google.
Okay, Google, boot up Fortnite." That type of thing.
You fucked up my phone.
Okay, Google, Fortnite.
I thought it's only supposed to know your voice.
We sound very similar.
We're the same person.
We share a lot of genetics. I'm not sure if you knew that.
I probably
Dr. Brian. Dr. D. No, it's cool. Interesting to see if maybe there will be some GDC stuff about this. Maybe some Google controller will be there. But anyway, it's time.
All right, let's talk about Rainbow Six. We probably should have specified where we wanted to start with this.
Well, let's start with Rainbow Six is a game that came out in 2015 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It is mostly a competitive shooter game. A tactical competitive shooter game. There is some single-player stuff in that you can do terrorist hunts on your own or play through situations that kind of teach you how to play the game. But the majority of the gameplay is you selecting different operators that have different skills that you can use in order to attack or defend an objective. There's 3 different types of objectives. One of them is secure area. One of them is rescue hostages, and then the other one is bomb. You find there's 2 bombs. You have to defuse them or prevent them from being defused, that type of thing.
Or you can just kill everyone.
And yeah, that's the very brief overview there. The game has had a long lifetime because they have put out season passes every year for about $30. And every 3 months, they give you 2 new operators that have usually pretty different skills than the current set.
The 2 new operator, because I think that started with season 3, like year 3, because prior to, we all joined in Operation White Noise, which was the year 2, season 4.
Yeah.
And at that point, they dropped Dokkaebi, Vigil, and Zofia all at the same time.
Okay.
So I think like doing an attacker defender or 2 attackers, 2 defenders, like 2 operatives started with year 3.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What was I going to say?
They also usually do like a new map every season or rework an old map.
Yes.
And
the season we joined is when they introduced Tower.
oh, great!
Yep.
What a great season that was.
But yeah, I did want to say that Ubisoft is planning a 10-year lifespan. We're 4 years into that at this point, so it's good to know that they planned from the get-go supporting this game for 10 years, so into the next console generation.
And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like this is one of the first games that they really decided to try and push we are going to continue making content for it rather than making a new one every year.
Games as a service.
Yes, they've since kind of done that also with things like Ghost Recon Wildlands is another one where they've done season passes for that.
Mm-hmm.
They've obviously tried to make Assassin's Creed a little bit longer in lifespan kind of terms, although they did put out 2 within 2 years and other stuff. But this is the one. This is kind of the like epitome of support your game after it comes out, and maybe it will come back around and be something people play.
And it's only getting bigger constantly.
Yeah,
I feel like
there's an esports scene for it. You can there's like a $500,000 prize pool or something like that. It
was like the invitationals was over $1 million.
Okay, yeah, I don't. The
winners walked away with $800,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it certainly has like a growing esports scene, and it's something you've heard us talk about quite a bit over the past year and
because
some change.
It's the only game that we continue to play on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Every other game falls by the wayside at some point.
Yes.
Even Destiny occasionally for me.
And most of us, I think, weren't even really into competitive games of this nature
this
prior
is
to.
The only game that I play like that.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And
you've definitely gotten more competitive the longer we've played it.
It's made me want to be better at it, which is not typically how those types of games go for me. It's mostly like I just get discouraged and then I never play it again.
Well, you got hooked. You found characters you like playing and a play style that works for your particular mode of operation. So
yeah,
why wouldn't you want to get better?
That's one of my favorite things about it is that like when I started playing this game a year ago and was mostly playing characters that could support and give more information to my team, it hooked me. But then after getting to PC and starting to try out different characters more, I found even more characters that I liked playing as that weren't just like support and could be more active and stuff like that.
Right.
So I feel like
it's funny because Jackal is like the perfect mix of those two things.
Exactly.
And that's one of the characters you play.
Yeah. So like I feel like over the lifetime of this game, even the year that I've been playing, I have had my own growth on top of what the game has been doing, and I can kind of see that and chart that and make some sense out of it.
Definitely.
Which is not something you get out of something like Call of Duty comes out every year and there's a different one and there's new map, blah, 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 blah. Like this game feels like a really like interesting experiment in kind of gradually expanding how it works and changing things in little ways, and also like you figuring out how you like to play it and what you like to do and that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean the way they've approached the operators is it makes the game play like evolve constantly.
Yeah.
Other games don't have that going for them. Like Call of Duty, okay, you'll get some new maps or whatever, but it's still going to be the same meta for the entire life of the game and shit like that. And with Rainbow Six, of course, that's not the case.
Seeing where like one character feels overpowered and then they like nerf and change it around and somebody else comes to the forefront and like stuff like that. Thankfully, it hasn't been like anybody that I like has gotten a significant nerf, but I feel like if your team is playing strong enough, it doesn't necessarily matter who's on top of the meta and who's not. It's mostly like you win by the communication between each other rather than the individual skills and strengths of each operator. So
well, I mean, because the meta, if you break down the acronym of most efficient tactical advantage, that is just the most efficient tactical advantage. There are various other tactical advantages depending on who's playing what characters, what operatives are using which abilities, what kind of side gear you're using instead of your main, your primary gear piece. There's so many different ways to play this game, and that's part of what I think makes it great. And yeah, it's gone through so many different changes over time too, and the fact that Ubisoft is so responsive. I mean, they've got people like just reading through the subreddit on a daily basis and picking up ideas and tweaking things and seeing where the issues are. They've got a public test server that, like, I mean, it's public test server from what I hear is like pretty fucking toxic. But it's the sort of thing where like they want to find where the toxicity is in terms of like what sort of things aren't working well, like whose hitbox is too small, whose hitbox is too big. You know, how do we tweak the velocity of certain bullets to do less damage but still be accurate, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're tweaking things on a level that's just I've never seen anybody do in a game. They tweaked all the recoil patterns on all the guns, like, probably halfway through last season to just make sure people weren't to tweak. I think it was mainly for people who were drop-shotting. So when drop-shotting is when you crouch or go prone as you're shooting, because you could continue to shoot while doing that, which is ridiculous in and of itself. But they tweaked that ability, and they also tweaked all of the recoil patterns on the guns to make it so like that wasn't something that people could take advantage of.
I mean, it doesn't seem that ridiculous. I saw it in Die Hard.
With that kind of accuracy, like, come on. Just doesn't make sense.
I think that's what's been their success, is the fact that they can pay attention to their community and change the things that people like. It feels like with the test server, as you said, they literally will try whatever people think they want.
Right.
And then if it doesn't work out, it's always something they can roll back or do differently with an update. But like I don't like, the closest they've gotten to like, oh man, I'm gonna quit this game, is when they were like, oh, we're gonna censor this so we can put it out in China. And then they even like came back from that and were like, never mind, we'll just fork the updates and have to do double the work in order to put the game out there. But
fine, you babies, you win.
Yeah, pretty much. Gladys says crouch spanking was worse than drop shotting.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Crouch spanking is actually crouch spamming, which is people crouching and leaning different directions in order to avoid headshots and stuff like that.
I was just gonna say they just tweaked the lean spamming a bit, so they made it. It used to be you could lean spam, and you had a better perception, like a better viewpoint from your lean. But they tweaked how the camera leans to be more centered on the operative's head, so that your perception as the leaner is actually tighter and not as easy for you to see. So I don't know how to explain it. Like you can't see around objects as well as you used to. So the person leaning is at a disadvantage now, which it used to be the other way around. They could see around an object more so than the other person.
Like
it's a logical.
That's why I lean in real life, is so I can see around.
Yeah,
shit.
but it was in the game. You as the leaner had the advantage.
Well, and also they're not even necessarily combating the fact that like people were leaning around objects, but the idea that you would be facing somebody even just out in the open and lean back and forth and avoid headshots that way.
Right.
You know, so by making it less of a range of motion, obviously it's going to be easier for somebody to headshot you, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But no, like, I never knew that I could care about a game this much and like want to know these changes and feel the differences between updates and kind of understand how strategies need to change because they make changes to how people work. And that's like, it's never really been something that I paid attention to because I've never really played competitive online games that much.
Right.
So.
And you bought the game twice, like most of us.
Well, I got it for Christmas first, and then I
Yeah.
bought it.
I've purchased it at least 4 times.
I've purchased the game for a few people as well. So
I just feel like, especially if this game's going to have the longevity that it's supposed to, PC's always going to be the best place to play this, because
and that's commonly how it's played competitively too. So.
Yeah. So I'm content, like.
No, and
being
then
on that platform. It's definitely the most hardcore. But I think it's made us better players.
I feel like anybody that I play with on PS4 now has it on PC, which is good.
Exactly.
So that's great, and I'm glad that no man was left behind. But
Except Tony. I don't think Tony has a PC.
Oh, well, what are we gonna do?
Glad to find out about that.
Yeah. But that's the thing for me. The thing that sells this game for me is playing with a group of people. I think if I hadn't played this game with like a 5 or 4 stack so much in the beginning, I probably never would have kept playing it.
Yeah.
When it's even just 2 of us playing, like the amount of either toxicity or the lack of coordination or whatever just doesn't work as well. Like if you go up against it's 2 and 3, like a group of 2 and then 3 randoms versus a group of 4 or 5, that group of 4 or 5 is going to waste you 9 times out of 10. And so like being able to play with friends and strategize together and do things a certain way has sold me on this game. So that's if somebody's thinking about playing this game, I think that's what you need to understand is that you should play it with friends. Like and I think that's for anybody. Even if you don't normally play games with friends, like this just might not be a game for you. Because I think the game survives on not necessarily solo queuing.
It's also cheap enough right now that you can buy 5 copies of it for the cost of like 1 original copy and give it out to your friends. So
yeah, Gladys says solo ranked can be a pain in the ass. Yeah. I mean, I think solo anything can be hard, but like the experience you get playing this game with a group of people is so vastly different and I think superior that I can't recommend anybody to play it alone. You should play it with people.
Yeah. I do feel like just due to the nature of PC, as far as like communication goes, it's easier to play solo.
Oh, for sure.
It can be more toxic.
Push the talk and whatnot.
People are more willing to actually talk to you.
Yeah, that's true.
On PS4, I'd never heard from strangers, I feel like.
Yeah. Not when you wanted to, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this, what was I going to say? I totally lost my train of thought now.
The game goes on sale all the time.
It's on sale right now.
Which, I mean...
Like on PlayStation, I think the Ultimate Edition or whatever.
Complete or...
not complete. It's like the next step up from standard is $11.99 right now. On PlayStation.
That might be the gold edition.
Maybe gold edition,
Advanced?
deluxe edition. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, it's a great game. I never liked playing games like this before. Like I mean, I played Team Fortress, but I don't even consider this on the same level as Team Fortress. This is like a whole different level. Like Team Fortress had its own tactical way of playing, depending on which character operative you wanted to play as. This is like, because there's no respawn, like you have to think about how you're playing in a completely different manner.
Yes.
The
speed of it.
It's definitely closer to playing something like Counter-Strike, of course, but
oh, for sure.
Just being round based and only getting 1 life.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Year 4, Season 1.
Yes, Burnt Horizon.
Burnt Horizon has dropped. It came out this past Wednesday. As we are all Season Pass holders, we are able to play the game or play the new operatives a week before everybody else. That's one of the best parts about this game is when you buy into a Season Pass, you don't have to, or if you don't buy into a Season Pass, you still get all the content.
Yeah.
It's just released to you in a different manner.
Yeah.
So that you do get an in-game, there are a bunch of in-app or in-game purchases that you can make. It's all mostly cosmetic stuff, but you can purchase individual operators with either in-game currency or paid currency.
Yes.
And that's the thing is that like it's a respectable amount of currency. Like you have to build up for quite some time.
It's like 22,500 renown is the currency in the game.
They just adjusted all the prices though, and they're lower than that.
And that's the thing. So they've now adjusted so that the older operators will get cheaper.
The new ones cost that much, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you play as much as we do and you like the game as much as we do, you will rack up that currency so much faster than you think you will.
I would say even if you put in just like a few hours a day for a week, you can easily afford an operator like every week.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
They do sell the game for $20, which is like the standard edition comes with, I think, how many? Like probably
you get the first 20.
Yeah.
The original 20 operators you get with the standard edition of the game.
Which up until recently, well, last year's version of the standard edition, gave you those operators outright, like unlocked entirely. This year they went back to the old model where you have to pay a small amount of renown to unlock every one of them.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't realize
okay.
that.
Yeah, because they eliminated the starter edition,
Right.
which also was even cheaper, but
Yeah, so
caused
they-
you to have to pay more to unlock people.
I think
so
Right.
got rid
they
of that.
automatically upgraded
Everybody
to
to-
regular.
the standard, yeah.
That's good. Good of them.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we got a new map.
Outback.
Outback.
Back. Not
Bloomin'
the
onions.
steakhouse.
Bloomin' onion.
It should be. I mean, there is a restaurant in it.
Pumpernickel.
Now that I think about it.
Shrimp on the barbie.
Crikey.
Crikey.
Let me look up the Outback menu real quick.
Anyways, the map is pretty rad. It's very big. It's kind of maze-like currently, just because we don't know it very well. They've definitely gone in a direction of making larger maps.
Yes.
Which I don't know if that's good or bad.
Agreed.
My favorite maps personally are the small ones. Like
Oh,
I
for
like
sure. The ones where you
house
have to engage a lot
and,
quicker.
like airplane, shit like that. That's more my style.
I don't know if that's if that was meant to like curb like toxicity and spawn peaking. Maybe is like making these maps
Yeah,
larger
I
and
mean,
harder to get around.
I
Makes
think it's supposed to help with replayability too. There's
Yeah.
you don't find yourself in the exact same scenario as often.
Right.
Yeah, there's more setups for objectives, so things
Mhm.
can play out really differently each time.
I think this map, like aesthetically, it's really cool for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think it has potential. I don't hate it outright. Like I really didn't enjoy Villa at first, although I've kind of warmed up to that one. Tower I still dislike.
Tower I hate.
The thing about it to me, Tower's my least favorite for sure, and I've warmed up to Skyscraper even. But the last three, Villa and
Hereford.
no, I guess it's not the last three, but Villa and what's Nomad and Qaid's
Oh, that one, the fort or something.
Yeah, the fortress.
Fortress. Yeah.
Villa, Fortress, and Outback are all so big that I don't feel like I have played enough to really understand them on the level that I do the other maps.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to be able to give effective call-outs and things like that.
That
Right.
that might be another reason why they're making them so big. Is to
That's true. To
sort of level the playing field in a way.
yeah, but you know, I think it's interesting, and maybe as I play more, I'll start to understand them a little bit better. And I feel like I'm starting to get there with like Fortress, but you know, it's,
that's a tough one.
the bigger maps are kind of
The
a
new
weird
one I
thing for me.
noticed it has a lot of like balconies inside and stuff, which is not too common in the maps that the old maps.
yeah. But yeah, it seems cool. I still want to play some more on it, but it seems like a very interesting locale. I also noticed that you can see like there was a car driving in the background too.
Oh, really?
And so I don't know like if
I wonder if you play Glaz, you can snipe the driver.
that'd be interesting.
So it was like a moving background
yeah,
asset?
there was a moving vehicle in the background,
Oh,
which is
interesting.
not
I
something
haven't
that I've
noticed that.
seen previously. So that's cool, but
What do you guys think about the ops?
I don't really care for Mozzie. Mozzie's ability is that he has these little bugs that can attach to attacker drones, and he can take over them. I don't really care for that ability because I'm not a reconnaissance style player. I am more of I've been playing a roamer more so lately than an anchor. So I'm not a huge fan of that particular ability, but I do like his guns feel really nice, especially the super shotty, the little shotty or whatever the hell it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That little shotgun is perfect you can use it both with Gridlock and Mozzie. It's exactly what you need with the two of them.
Yeah.
Like to be able to open up walls and open up hatches and things without needing breach charges is like super super helpful, especially for Gridlock, because Gridlock's ability is she's got these traps that she throws down and they spread out, and they're very informative of like where people are. If they run into them, they cause damage over time. They slow people down.
can only destroy them with noisy things.
Yeah, they're super super effective.
It's almost like a more limited use Legion as far as utility goes.
Sure. Yeah, because
But,
you don't get as many of them.
And yeah, Legion, like most of the time people don't see his traps, and obviously Gridlock they're very obvious.
Yeah, but you throw them on a stairwell, and
Yeah.
people can't really see them when they go running down a stairwell too quick or whatever. But yeah, it's cool. I used gridlock on the clubhouse map and breached the hatch that's right above the armory when objective was in armory, and was able to use the super shotty to open up the hatch. I threw down a whole bunch of the all 3 traps I threw into that room so people couldn't come in from any direction. And then I threw both smokes that I had and then crawled down in there and took out the people in the objective. It was one of the most gratifying moments of gameplay I've ever had, just because it was like I literally used everything that she had available to her and was able to have this like moment of just like I was like I'm in this game. Like I literally like used everything. Like it was just cool to.
You are gridlock.
I was, yeah.
Gladish,
Roughly the same size.
Gladish says Mozzie Roam is awesome. So like I guess one of the other things that we didn't necessarily defend. There's a lot of things we didn't describe rather. So when you're attacking or defending, you can kind of like defenders. You can either have people that like anchor the objective, or they roam a little bit. And I guess I can see Mozzie being good as roaming, but like the main thing for me with Mozzie, if I do start to use him more, which I would like to do, like that his gadget means you can steal 3 drones, and Brian kind of made the suggestion of like, oh, at least it's kind of like another mute, because you can like post them up on doors or near the little hatches that drones can come in, and then they will attack that drone. So like for me, I think it would be interesting at least to like send those out so I know I'm going to capture drones with them, then post the drones up just to give us less obvious cameras.
Yeah, I mean you're playing as almost if you were to mix Mute and Valkyrie into one character, you have this ability to disable a drone from the attackers, but then also use its camera informatively.
I mean, I really like Mozzie because I think it's a fun ability. Yeah. But I think the whole stealing drones thing is gonna really mix things up as far as like on the attacker side at least. You're never gonna know for sure where a camera is anymore.
Well, that's that's true. That's one of the things that I was kind of like, I don't know if I like Mozzie, because I feel like eventually we will get to a point where people are just gonna be like, all right, I'm just going to start shooting drones that I see anywhere.
Well, I've noticed it's already made people hesitant to even use their drones as like haphazardly as they used to.
Yeah.
They're afraid to go too far into a room for fear of them getting captured.
And I guess, that's true. With an attacking group that's going to drone a lot more, it'd be cool to like when you're posting up at the end, start throwing out your Mozzie bugs. As
Gladish said, you can also steal Twitch drones, which would be incredibly useful. And using Mute to slow drones down and then using Mozzie to take them is really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think over the season, like these 2 new ops will definitely show their hand more, I guess.
Yeah, we're still obviously a couple days in. It's pretty early on, but like
they both have really good loadouts too.
Yeah, their guns are. I feel a lot better about Kaid and Nomads now that I've actually played as Kaid a little bit. Like when I first
Kaid's shotgun is probably the best gun in the game.
Yeah. When I first played as like Maestro and Alibi, I don't like either of their guns because I'm not normally like a machine gun kind of person. But both Mozzie and Gridlock seem like they have pretty solid assault rifles and things like that.
Yeah, they have a good mix, and the fact that they have the regular sidearm and the mini shotgun is awesome. Like John said, it makes it so you can breach stuff, and it's pretty damn effective if you're close.
Yeah.
It'll body shot someone, I think, if you're real close.
At least knock them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's this was a solid update. I think I'm still getting used to the fact that they made casual rounds shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing we didn't really describe is that you have casual matches, you have ranked matches. The ranked matches are typically
I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes long, and they can last up to 9 rounds, and the casual matches used to be 4 minutes long and would last up to 5 rounds. Now casual matches are still 5 rounds max, but they've been cut by 30 seconds, which make them shorter, which kind of preps you for getting into needing to move quicker once you actually transition from playing casual to going to ranked. They did introduce a like a beginner ranked mode sort of, which is only bomb, and it's for people who are players up to level 30, I believe.
Yeah, if you are above 30, you cannot play the newcomer playlist, which is pretty cool.
But yeah, I definitely like the change in time to the casual matches, because we always having that 4 minutes of time, we were taking our time too much.
We've always been slow, even when it was longer.
I mean, we've run out of time a lot this week because we're so used to the 4 minutes.
And I also think it's just in general helped us over the past couple months. I've noticed we've become better at attacking but worse at defending. So I think that's something that having this change in time might be a good opportunity for us to start kind of tweaking the way we do things.
Yeah.
That flipped too.
Yeah,
because especially back when we were on PlayStation, but even with the beginning of our PC playing, we were always pretty solid at defending.
Yeah.
But it feels like that's...
Well, maybe it's because you're not playing Castle enough and John's not playing Mute enough.
Oh, it's a newcomer is good until level 50, and ranked starts at level 30 instead of 20.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Which I feel like the move from 20 to 30 in ranked isn't really going to make any difference.
No, not at all.
I feel like once you've played up to 20,
you have the skills.
You have enough understanding of the game.
Yeah. Well, but once you get to level 30, you're even more butthurt going into rank.
Yeah, so. I mean, I don't think you're going to be any better at 30 than you were at 20.
You'll be more angry.
I feel like you're not going to really understand shit until 50.
Yeah. I don't know what else I wanted to talk about with this, other than we really fucking love this game.
This is the only game that we consistently played together.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's never been any other game. I don't know that we've played anything else more than twice together.
I think it's the only game that we've literally been able to suggest to every one of our friends, and they all get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if anybody listening wants to play it,
by all means, hit us up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're on PC, so you got to have it on PC.
Oh, I'll play it on PS4 too if you want.
Yeah, I could too.
And I've thrown it out there that I'll buy it on Xbox if people want to play on Xbox. I love this game. It's just fun as hell to play.
It is a great game.
I do want to throw it out there and just kind of shout out Get Flanked on YouTube. It's Get_Flanked. And he has made some really great videos giving people tips and tricks on how to play the game. Different. He goes through a lot of the terminology of roaming and anchoring and shallow roaming and deep roaming and helping you figure out different objectives and sight lines and helping you with figuring out the best point of entry for certain maps and things like that. He does a really great job. Really easy to follow. Great narrative voice.
Doesn't sound like a douchebag.
Yeah, he's pleasant to listen to enough to where you actually want to keep watching his videos.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy his videos, and it made me want to get better at the game, and seeking those videos out and just watching them has made me a better player. So.
Well, and he called out an exploit that then kind of rocked the entire meta with the Cav thing.
Oh, it was being used in the invitationals.
Yeah, so he's a really knowledgeable person when it comes to the game. And
yeah, I mean, he's made us all better players just watching. Even I haven't watched that many of his videos, but every one of them I've watched has been very helpful.
Yeah. But we should probably thank Gladish and you, Brian, because without either of you, I don't think we would be playing the game, right? You played it earlier on, right?
No, we all kind of got it at the same time.
Okay, I thought
we should thank Gladish for telling us, and because he was the one who was he's the one who's you guys are really mad at D2 right now, so you should play Rainbow Six instead. And so then we were just fuck it, it's $15, who cares?
Yeah.
And we all bought it and started playing it and loved it. So.
I may have transitioned to PC before you guys.
No, I thought for some reason I might just be thinking of Zach, because Zach did the beta, right? I think.
Yeah.
And then
he had it, and he told us about it probably a year before we actually started playing it.
Yeah.
But Gladish was the push. He was the final straw that broke the camel's back.
So thank you, Gladish.
Yeah. I mean, thanks to everybody we play with. I mean, it's a shitload of fun. It wouldn't be as fun, like Alex said, it wouldn't be as fun if we didn't have a big group of people to play with.
I'm still hoping we can get everybody on one day and do
almost everybody. Do a full
we have
5v5.
We have more than 10 people that play.
Yeah, for sure.
But a 5v5 custom match would be
should just be my bachelor party.
Rainbow Six LAN party.
Rainbow Six LAN party.
I also want to mention anybody who does end up picking the game up and wants more support in terms of learning and playing and competing. Get Flanked does have his own Discord channel called The Hive, where they set up like 5v5 tournaments and stuff all the time. And it's just to help people get better. And the community on his Discord is fantastic. All really good, friendly players. They'll play on PS4 and PC, as far as I know. I think they may have added an Xbox channel to find groups and whatnot, but they do actually have a mod run tournament that they do through the Hive. Cool. So, but yeah, I'm always down to play, and it's crazy what this game has done to me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I mean, I bought a new keyboard and a mouse. Like, I bought a new monitor for this game. Like,
didn't you just build a whole new computer, pretty much?
Pretty much, but not for this game necessarily. I mean, I bought my new video card so I could play the Destiny 2 demo, which is the stupidest thing I've ever done. But it's a great game. And actually, if anybody wants to get into the PC realm of it, you can build a really nice PC that can play it without a lot of money. Like,
this game doesn't require much in the way of requirements.
And also, if you are nervous about mouse and keyboard, like, you can also play it with controller. Like, you're not necessarily going to be Diamond 1
I would say stick to casual
and ranked. But yeah, in casual, I feel like it's been possible for a few people we know to actually do pretty well.
It does have full controller support.
Yeah.
Natively, so that's good.
Yeah, so Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, we're not going to stop talking about it.
No, well, and especially because we've got 3 more seasons seasons to run through for this year. Yeah. So that's exciting. The new operators that they're describing sound ridiculous. At least the Dutch one that they're talking about having like stealth camouflage or whatever.
Right?
It came from the source who leaked the last few operators. So
so likely, but still
very likely that the Danish operator that they're releasing is an attacker who is able to blend into his environment and not be seen by cameras. And he also is just totally badass.
That's the cool thing too, is like seeing how, because they put so much thought into the operators and their skills and like whether or not they're attackers or defenders, seeing them try to figure out how to like adapt those for the other side of attack of operators is pretty interesting too, because like this guy sounds like a vigil caviar, like basically like several operators on the defending side put together, and then seeing how that changes everything when they attack instead of defending. I think is really cool. It'd be fun if in the custom matches they let you just play as whoever you wanted to play as on like whatever
play
side.
As a defender in an attacking round.
Yeah, I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah, well, I had all the web pages. Well, it's like the fandom pages for Rainbow Six pulled up on my iPad, and I had each of the seasons and everything pulled up to if we ever wanted to flip through that. But it was showing the video from White Noise that had Mute, Sledge, Thatcher, and who's Smoke. Like, it showed the 4 of them like attacking on plane basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like that would be sweet if like you could squad up as like the whole squad, and then like you could attack or defend based on that. Like,
yeah,
I do feel like going forward, there's definitely some room for them to like add new game modes, like objective types and stuff.
Yeah.
If nothing else, like what you guys are talking about right now reminded me of like Overwatch's arcade mode, how they just like play with the rules of the game and they switch it up every week.
Yeah.
Like they have like mystery hero mode, or like like they'll have a mode where everyone plays the same fucking hero and shit like that. That could be kind of fun with this type of game.
Well, and they do that sometimes a little bit in seasons or around holidays. Like they did like the Halloween event where they limited what operators people could pick. They also did the Outbreak thing with Lion and Finka.
And those are fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to do.
I feel like they could do that stuff more often, especially with this influx of cash they're getting from.
Yeah, but I
from
definitely
us,
like I don't necessarily need more operators. Like I feel like they're getting to a point where like
I don't want more operators. I'm just saying
I think more
like,
game modes, more maps would be cool.
Even
I'd love
there's
some
a
kind
lot
of, like,
of maps already.
Some kind of VIP payload style would I think somehow work. I just don't know how exactly. But I think that would be really cool. You know, more it'd be along the lines of like hostage, where you're escorting somebody, or
they're an active
they could
player.
do multi-hostage. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, you got to clear out a whole room of hostages.
Yeah, I think Counter-Strike had that, where there was more than one hostage.
But the game it's still like it's amazing as it is, but it still has so much potential, and that says a lot about this game. So
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and Gladys says, Ubi said the goal is to have over 100 ops. I don't need 100 ops.
Wow.
I have a hard enough time picking them now as there is.
That
And
would
there's
be
only
crazy.
40.
Yeah, I'm really glad they changed the thing to where like if you don't pick an op,
Yeah,
it
the
just
auto.
picks automatic like randomly for you.
Random.
That's made the game more fun because sometimes I just don't feel like thinking about it, but I don't want to be a shitty recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody without a skill.
But all this talk about it is making me want to play.
Yep.
Yeah, so we should go do that. So, if you want to follow us on social media or see other places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. The Midwest Podcast Network now has a Patreon. The Patreon is meant to benefit all the shows on the network. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month and help keep our shows alive and well. Check it out at mpn.bz/Patreon. As always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com, much like Clark. Thanks again, Clark, for that feedback. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Don't forget that you can actually subscribe using your Amazon Prime account on Twitch now. We are affiliates, and we get some money for that to help us keep things rolling. So if you have your free Amazon Prime subscription still and you haven't used it on somebody else who's more popular on Twitch, feel free to throw it at us for a month. That would be awesome.
Yeah. We'll try to do some more streaming this week. I know I'm going to try to do some Tetris. I might try to do some Throwback Thursday. So it'll probably be like Tuesday night for Tetris, some type of Throwback Thursday thing, and then obviously we'll probably be playing some Rainbow Six at some point
For
as
sure.
well.
And the Division 2.
So keep
I'll
an
try
eye
and
out.
stream some of that.
Keep an eye out on our Instagram or our Facebook or wherever, and we'll try to announce when we're going live.
So, yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for listening and watching. If you're watching, thanks, Gladys. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.